Hi, welcome to Talking and Reading from Japan by Hidemi Woods. I'm your host, Hidemi Woods. I read some episodes from the books I wrote and talk about them or anything I feel like talking. I hope you enjoy with me. Today, I'll read one episode from the book I wrote titled The Girl in Kyoto. This book is one of the memoirs I wrote, and each episode is my actual experience. Today's episode is called The Vicious Cake. It's about the cake I made for a math teacher. The Vicious Cake. In Japan, St. Valentine's Day is the day that women give chocolate to men. When I was a freshman at high school, I had a big crush on my math teacher and gave him a handmade chocolate cake on Valentine's Day. I wasn't interested in cooking at all and never helped my grandmother and my mother in the kitchen. Although cooking was an unknown territory for me, I decided to make a chocolate cake on a whim. It turned out to be way harder and more time-consuming than I thought. I made 2 cakes and chose the better-looking one for the teacher and the other to be stored in the fridge for my family and myself. I handed the cake to the teacher at school and was so happy because he seemed pleased. I came home in a good mood and tried the other cake in the fridge myself. My good mood was extinguished on the spot. It tasted horrible. I'd never had such a terrible cake before and haven't since. Of course, I tasted it to make sure while cooking, but I did so for chocolate icing, not for sponge cake. As you know, chocolate can't go wrong, but sponge cake possibly can. I felt awful imagining the teacher was having the vicious cake with his colleagues or his family on Valentine's Day. That was today's episode. This episode happened when I was in high school and when I had a big crush on my math teacher. At that time, he was about 40 years old, and he was so handsome. And of course, he was smart, thin, and always he was wearing a 3-piece suit, and he just looked so handsome, and I really looked forward the math class And before the math class, before and while during the math class, my heart was pounding because that handsome man was in front of the it, on the front of the in the classroom in front of me, talking and teaching. So I was. It's like to me it was like dreaming, not learning. But uh, I wanted to be his favorite, so I studied math so hard. I to this day I hadn't studied so diligently. No, that was uh, while he was my math teacher, I was the best student who studied so hard, so diligently, so earnestly. And as a result, uh, before he was I had a different math teacher. I was so poor on math, but my um, marks on math jumped up, and I every examination I almost every time scored full marks, because just not to be good at math or not to pursue a career in mathematics, just to become his favorite. And the best subject I I was able to score had been English before that, but that math teacher changed it, and mathematics was the best, became the best I could do. And actually, in the end, I liked math itself, disregarding the teacher. Just he he taught me the charm of mathematics as a result. And I had a crush on him, but after that, I had a crush on mathematics itself. Anyway, on that St. Valentine's Day, I handed my handmade cake to him. It's so embarrassing. It's really embarrassing. It's an awfully embarrassing memory. One of the embarrassing memories of mine, so it's hard to recall it. Um, but as you can imagine, I was young and stupid enough to do that audacity, and I made a cake and gave it to him as a gift. Uh, so embarrassing. But he was pleased, so uh, I was happy until I had been happy until I tasted the cake by myself, and I still don't know. I still don't figure out why it went that wrong. It tasted terrible. I I wonder what I put into sponge so that it came out as that degree of bad taste. How could a person make sponge cake that bad? I still can't figure it out. It, I think I baked it correctly because it, uh, it was soft, looked nice, but the taste, how could it go so wrong with sugar and butter? I still don't know, because I haven't challenged it again. I haven't baked any cake since then. But in in that degree, it was so bad, and I still feel sorry for my math teacher because I made him eat or possibly throw it out. Back then, it still is, I guess, a Japanese way of celebrating St. Valentine's Day was unique. St. Valentine's Day in Japan was the day that women showed her feelings to men. It was the day that women were forgiven to show their affection toward men. And so giving men a chocolate meant she loved him. So in those days, at that time, boys or men were competing with the number of chocolates they received, because that told how popular they were. And it's back then it was somehow a new trend in Japan, because my father didn't know that that event, that way of celebrating St. Valentine's Day. So it's relatively a new event in Japan back then. But now it has changed a little bit, like more like social social thing. For instance, it's not serious relationship, affection and telling day, but it's just socially like at an office, female workers hand out to male workers to probably smooth out the work relationship between them, because which I don't know in details, since I haven't worked at an office, but probably so. And so lately it has been less serious, but back then was more serious, more tense event for women. And I just used that event to show how much I loved my math teacher to him. And I flopped big time. Anyway, my crush was gone because I was graduated and haven't seen him since. But I still remember how handsome he was, and love for mathematics remains in me, because I just 3 years of high school. I spent 3 years of high school almost totally dedicated those 3 years for mathematics, for studying mathematics. And I just gradually I found myself that I loved math more than the teacher. I thought I had a big crush on him, and I thought I was studying mathematics for him. But gradually, my teacher didn't matter to me. Just studying mathematics gave me such such rapture, such joy, and I just couldn't stop studying mathematics. It's kind of addiction, I think. I In hindsight, I was addicted to math, and the the I love to challenge and try to solve the difficult question, difficult problem, difficult math theme, and I used to tackle it all day or sometimes for a week. And during that time, just for solving one question, I took piece of a piece of paper in a plastic bag, and I floated it in a bathtub. And while I was taking a bath, I was keeping to solve that question. And I just couldn't stop solving the question because it was so fun. And so practically all the time I was awake, I was solving some questions of math. But I wasn't became, I didn't become a mathematician because I chose a career as a musician. So, but if I were not to be a singer-songwriter, I would have been a mathematician in a different verse. Well, that's all for today. Thanks for listening. Just in case you are interested in my other materials, you can visit hidemiwoods.com, hidemi.com, where the links to my other books, my songs, and my blogs, podcasts, and merchandise I design are available at that on that website. So if you like, visit there. Again, thanks for listening. Until next time, take care and be well.